Hey there. Something that's bothering me. I don't like to do videos on the weekend, but I'm going to do this because something is bothering me. And it's this creeping vicarious law-keeping doctrine that's still out there. It's still lingering. If you don't know what that is, I recommend you check out Petra Renatus and you check out David Benjamin and go find those videos where they talk about vicarious law-keeping. Jesus did not come to obey the commandments for us. And he didn't. Not all 613 laws. He is far above the law. And the law has to do with sin and death. The law exposes sin, and sin brings about death. And the law cannot stop sin. It actually increases sin. Jesus came according to his own righteousness, which is not according to the law. The law shadows the righteousness of God in a way that it simply shows that, in a very basic way, that we are foreign to the righteousness of God. We're not of that. But keeping the law does not reconcile us with God. And so Jesus did not reconcile us with God by his law-keeping life. That wouldn't do it. That wasn't going to do it. It's only his death. His death is what paid the price for sin, not his law-keeping. Most of the 613 laws are for the priests, and Jesus was not a priest according to Aaron. And some of the laws, if you read Leviticus 21, you'll see things that Jesus did that would have broken the priestly and the high priestly laws. Jesus couldn't touch lepers if he was going to keep every law. He didn't come to fulfill the priesthood of Aaron. He came to die so that we could be reconciled with God. It's something completely different. And the priesthood of Aaron only... Fireworks. Weird. The priesthood of Aaron only shadows. It only shadows what we now have, which is, that was a priesthood according to death, and their sacrifices could not cleanse their conscience. It only covered sin. It could not cleanse. It only covered. And now we have a high priest who his blood cleanses us from all sin. The law is no longer a factor because we've died with him in his death. It's all about his death and our death with him. When you say that Jesus, it's just something to be careful about. And I've done it. In trying to up the standard of what Jesus did or try to express it, we have to be careful of what kind of righteousness he has. His righteousness is according to God. It's far beyond any type or shadow or anything that we've seen before. We're talking about God. So the law it's just a glimpse of the backside of, you're not able to approach God. And that is all the law does. It just reinforces that, in case you weren't sure, you can't approach God in any way. But Jesus came according to life, the life of God. He said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except by me. And it wasn't because he was going to keep all the laws. It was because he is life. And again, I might have already said this, but sin has to do with, sin brings out death. The law exposes sin, and sin brings out death. But Jesus came according to life. According to life. So the law just simply shows that we are alien from the life of God. But Jesus brings us in by his blood, by his death, by his obedience and death, and by his resurrection. We're raised to newness of life so that we can approach God not according to law keeping. That's not on the menu. It's totally out of the way. We've died to it. But now we approach God according to life. So the law is no longer, it doesn't have anything to do with how we approach God. We approach him by Jesus, the life.